Hey guys, welcome back. Alright, so I decided that today we're going to work on windows. So I'm going to show you how I did the granny grading here. This is what the windows are going to look like. So let's go through how to get that worked up. Okay, so I've done a bit of prep work. I've already cut some pieces. You didn't miss much, but I'll tell you how I did that. Basically, I've got my big sheet of granny grading here. You can find this Joanne, Michaels, all kinds of, probably Hobby Lobby. But basically it's, I guess it's for cross stitching. But this whole sheet of stuff was like 59 cents, so it's real cheap. And it's nice soft plastic, so it's easy to cut through. So basically what I did is just, I've got my window here, my window opening, and I essentially just laid it down on a corner. And you want to make sure, the important part of this is to make sure that it's lined up diagonally, so everything's on 45s. And then you just take your knife and score it inside here, so you know how big it needs to be. And it doesn't have to be perfect, we're going to be covering up the edges, so just score it, and then you take it off and completely cut it out, and then you'll have a piece like this. And then I've got some 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch balsa strip here, and just went through just like I did with all the other wood cutting. I just marked off how long each piece needed to be and cut it. And you'll need 2 pieces for each side, so 2 for the top, 2 for the bottom, 2 for left, 2 for right, 1 for the inside and 1 for the outside. So that'll become clear here in a second. So I've gone ahead and cut those pieces out and stained them just like we did with the other wood. And so all I'm going to do now, I've got them laid out. You need to keep track of which side is which, so that everything fits. But basically I'm just going to take some white glue and glue the pieces on the back end, and you want to make sure that they are flush up against the back wall. So this should be flush here, and then you'll have some space on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the bottom pieces on the inside here, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so I've gone ahead and glued the whole frame on the inside. You can see it's all flush here. So we're going to go ahead and let that dry real good. Now here's a place where, this is one of the reasons it's important to have a real sharp knife when you're cutting out the foam board, so that it cuts smooth, because if you've ripped out all this foam on the inside, you're not going to have an edge to glue this stuff to. All you'll have is this really thin paper, and it's not going to work very well. So always when you're cutting foam board, make sure you have a really sharp knife. That way everything will cut smooth. Alright, so the next step, now that these are dry, I'm going to get my other pieces out of the way here. So we're going to take the piece of granny grading that we had cut, and we're going to put a little bit of glue, line the inside of this with some glue. And then we just stick our granny grading down in there. Alright, so now our granny grading's glued in, and then all we have to do is glue in the top bracing here all the way around, and that'll be the end of the window. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll look at the finished result. Alright, so there it is. Now obviously the glue hasn't dried yet, so I don't want to mess with it much, but once that glue dries, that's in there solid. This one's not going anywhere. I mean, it will if I push on it real hard, but it's pretty stable. So that's it for the windows. I've got 2 more to do on the bottom floor on the sides, and then we'll figure out what to work on next. Until then, you guys have a good one. Bye.